For anyone undecided out there, what, in your opinion, is the biggest difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, we could talk about values, we can talk about the things and the platforms that both of our parties are running on. But really, I think what we're seeing this campaign specifically is a divergence in character. We are seeing one campaign that is running on defamation and ugly, nasty, baseless attacks because they know that they have no positive record and no vision to run on. On the other hand, our United Conservatives are running on a very positive vision.
The question I'm asking everyone today is what, in your opinion, is the biggest difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, this is about the future of Alberta. We support job creators, we support jobs. I want my kids to have opportunities when they get out of high school. I don't want them to feel like they have to leave the province after they get out of high school. This is about the future of our province, the prosperity and the opportunities that our kids are going to have. That's the fight that we have in this election.
Adam Stos here for Rebel News on location at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino for what is set to be one of the bigger UCP rally events in this election campaign. This is part of our AlbertaDecides.com coverage of the 2023 Alberta election. I'm going to take this opportunity tonight with the election so close to speak to a number of MLAs and ask what they believe is the critical difference between them and the NDP. For any of those undecided voters out there who might be on the fence, hopefully some of their responses will help you form your opinion and make an educated decision on May 29th.
The NDP's campaign of negativity and fear, or the UCP's campaign of positivity and hope for the future.
Now joined by UCP candidate for Airdrie East, Angela Pitt. I guess the question I'm kind of asking as many MLAs as I possibly can, or former MLAs, MLA hopefuls, is what, in your opinion, is the biggest difference between you, the UCP, and the NDP?
I think the UCP is going to make sure that you don't pay as many taxes, and they're going to be responsible with the tax dollars that are given to a government like ours. And the NDP are going to continually increase your taxes and make life more unaffordable, and they're going to do it without your consent.
We are a really positive group, and we're focusing about moving forward. We've got hope.
Well, with the NDP, we would be moving backwards, and with the UCP, we would be moving forward. And when I say moving forward, to a better quality of life for Albertans, a better future, our hopes and dreams fulfilled.
Well, the United Conservative Party is one that will propel this province forward. It's one that will protect and build on the opportunities in this province, while the NDP will, just like they did when they were in government last time, destroy those opportunities in this province.
Well, I think the biggest difference is our approach to the economy. Our focus, and this is actually I ran 4 years ago. I used to teach as a sessional at the University of Calgary, and what I was seeing was students graduating and had to leave the province because there were no jobs. Well, we changed all that. Right now we have people coming into the province, not leaving the province. We have more jobs. Actually, we have another problem. We don't have enough people for the jobs, so that's a good problem to have, right? But how do we get there? We reduce the corporate taxes. We reduce regulatory red tape. So we had companies come and invest here, and this is not only in the energy sector, that's incredibly important, but across all sectors of the economy. We look at de Havilland, McCain's, IT, emphasis, all coming here to Alberta to create jobs, and that enable us not only to have more jobs for Albertans, to increase revenues, to balance the budget, and now we can invest in things and continue to invest in things like healthcare and education without going into a debt. So the single biggest difference between ourselves and the NDP is we have a plan, a proven track record that is working, that is enable us to balance the budget and continue to invest in things that are critically important to Albertans, like healthcare, like education, like looking after the most vulnerable, and doing that without going into debt.
So I'm now joined by the one MLA who I have to point the camera up for, Joseph Scow. The question I'm asking all candidates today is what, in your opinion, is the biggest difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, there's so many, but if I could distill it down to one, I think our party has an optimistic view of the future, one that includes attracting job creators to the province and supporting all the amazing business owners that are already here with low taxes and cutting red tape. The NDP, their policies are going to destroy our province, including levying more taxes and red tape on them and making life more difficult for job creators, families. And these are jobs that are putting food on the table and paying for mortgages. So anybody out there who's thinking about voting NDP, keep that in mind. This is a beacon of hope and opportunity and prosperity for the whole province, or rather for the whole country and even around the world. We want to keep it that way, and we only do that by voting for a UCP government.
It comes down to the fact that conservative policies and values work for Alberta, and NDP policies and values don't. And we saw that from 2015 to 2019 when we lost hundreds of thousands of jobs, tens of billions of investment. Compare that to where we are today. Fastest growing economy in Canada, highest wages, lowest taxes, 200,000 new jobs over the last 2 years. Alberta's booming, our families, communities are flourishing, and that's what a conservative government is going to ensure.
Well, right off the top of my head, I mean, the UCP is going to support the police. They're going to support a safe and secure society. We're certainly not going to defund the police, unlike a lot of the certainly members of the NDP candidates have said. And we're going to make sure that we're taking care of those who are most vulnerable. As I've said before, you can have the balance, right? You can have a safe public, and then you can also provide an opportunity to help people who are most vulnerable. I mean, that to me is really one of the basic and most basic points that I'm talking about, is about really just a common sense approach to dealing with some of the most complex issues that we have nowadays. So if you want common sense, vote for the United Conservative Party.
Now joined by UCP candidate for Calgary Acadia, Tyler Shandro. The question I'm asking everyone today is, what in your opinion is the biggest difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, this is about the future of Alberta. We support job creators, we support jobs. I want my kids to have opportunities when they get out of high school. I don't want them to feel like they have to leave the province after they get out of high school. This is about the future of our province, the prosperity and the opportunities that our kids are going to have. That's the fight that we have in this election. And the UCP, the difference between us and the NDP is we want prosperity. We want jobs. We want to work with job creators. We want to bring more jobs to the province. The NDP want to scare it away.
This event was actually set to originally take place inside the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, but after over 1,700 people signed up to attend, they moved it outside. Well, it is clear that more than 1,700 people have showed up because the tent is absolutely packed, and as you can see, people are flowing over into the outdoor area here. A little bit of weather threatening, as you can see, but hopefully we don't get rained out. This is legitimate, folks. At least 2,000, maybe 2,500 people on location here, and this isn't the NDP's version of 1,000 people. We're talking legit sound estimates. So definitely a big turnout and a strong show of support in Calgary, which we have discussed is going to be a key battleground in determining the outcome of this election. For anyone undecided out there, what in your opinion is the biggest difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, we could talk about values, we can talk about the things and the platforms that both of our parties are running on. But really, I think what we're seeing this campaign specifically is a divergence in character. We are seeing one campaign that is running on defamation and ugly, nasty, baseless attacks because they know that they have no positive record and no vision to run on. On the other hand, our United Conservatives are running on a very positive vision. We have not stooped to the negativity, to the attacks, to the insults. We've taken the high road despite all of the barbs that have thrown our way. And we are campaigning on a positive vision for the future of Alberta, a positive mission, a positive outlook, because we know that our track record speaks for itself. Alberta's economy is booming today, our finances are back in order, and Alberta's future has never looked brighter. We're campaigning on that. We're feeling very optimistic, very positive, and we believe that Albertans want that. Albertans are tired of divisive politics. They want to see a province that is excited to move forward and provides a positive vision, and I think we're going to see the outcome of that on election day.
I think when I think about that question, I often would probably go to my ministry of mental health and addiction. I think that the NDP have been clear. Their policies with regards to addiction, you can see them on the downtown east side of Vancouver. With ours in the UCP, we're obviously focused on ensuring that individuals can get the treatment that they need and get into recovery. We've funded 10,000 new treatment spaces. We got rid of the user fee that there was under the NDP. It was a $40 a day user fee. We've got virtual opioid dependency program where people can call from anywhere in the province, get on opioid addiction medicine like Suboxone for free, no wait times, no wait lists. Plus, we've got the recovery communities that we're building. So I think that if there's anything from my experience in the last little while, especially talking to so many people at the doors, that seems to be one of those things that people will walk into the polling stations and probably have on their mind, because it's just such a stark difference. I can't, in any good conscience, end up in a situation where we end up with the downtown east side kind of logic of Vancouver anywhere in Alberta. So hopefully people make the right choice. Hopefully they vote UCP on the 29th.
Perfect. So I'm now joined by MLA hopeful now, I guess, hoping to be re-elected for the UCP, also the former Minister of Municipal Affairs. The question I'm asking as many former MLAs and hopeful MLAs is, what is the main difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, I think we have one party in this election that cares about economic growth and prosperity for all people in our province, and that is the United Conservatives. When we look at where we are now versus 2019, this is a place full of hope, optimism, and opportunity for all. A party that cares about balanced budget and that economic growth. Sometimes we forget to talk about the why, but it's so we can invest in the programs and services that people rely on.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
One question, quick, easy, I promise. Now joined by a man who needs no introduction, the legendary Prasad Panda. I suppose the question I'm asking all MLAs today, or MLA hopefuls and candidates, is what, in your opinion, is the biggest difference between the UCP and the NDP?
Well, UCP is campaigning honestly about our platform, and NDP, instead of running on their record from 2015 to 19, they are running away from their record and spreading lies and rumors, whereas UCP is campaigning on a positive message about economy, jobs, the supports for families facing high inflation costs. So we are giving out a positive message, being optimistic and hopeful. NDP is scaring seniors and misleading Albertans on healthcare. But Albertans are wise enough. I think on May 29, they make the right decision.
I think it really comes down to our love for this province, our vision for this province, our policies, which I think resonate very well for Alberta. We have a vision that wants to move this province forward. We want to develop our industries. We want to expand our economy. We want to make sure that there is a sufficient revenue base available so that we can fund the wonderful programs that this province provides. I think our formula is working and it's sound. The biggest difference is that the flawed views of the NDP party have been tried and have failed multiple times already. We've seen what they've done. We've seen them put us into record debts. We've seen them chase away investment. We've seen them chase away people. And tens of thousands of people who've lost their jobs, thousands of businesses have gone under. I mean, this is something, to me, it couldn't be any clearer in this election. It is a party that is going to move us forward with the United Conservatives, or it is the NDP government who we've had before. We've seen this movie before. We know it doesn't work, and we're not ready for it.
So another one of the independent media outlets that has been covering this election, True North, one of their great reporters, Rachel Emanuel. The question that I've been asking a bunch of MLAs today is, what, in their opinion, is the key difference between the UCP and the NDP? I wanted to ask you that question from the perspective of media.
Sure. So I think for viewers, it's probably been a little bit hard to discern what the difference is in this election when both groups are really running to appeal to moderates in Calgary and a little bit in the ridings outside of Edmonton. We've seen Rachel Notley run a very conservative campaign. I think the real NDP policy that we have seen is when they admitted that they would increase corporate taxes if they were re-elected. I would say the big difference in this election is jobs and the economy. We know that the UCP understands that we just came out of the COVID-19 pandemic, a very difficult time for businesses, and they're looking to cut taxes all across the board. This is also a very high spending government, so even though Danielle Smith is traditionally considered, a very prominent libertarian, she hasn't run as a libertarian premier. Their government has been spending loads of amount of money trying to improve healthcare and education. So I guess the question that voters really need to ask themselves is, do they believe that this NDP, as it's currently running, would be the party as it currently stands, one that is saying we're going to keep taxes low other than the corporate taxes? Or do they believe that once in government they would revert to sort of their old ways and increase personal taxes, increase business taxes, make it harder for businesses to grow and invest here? That being said, we know the UCP doesn't want that. They want to keep costs low for Albertans. They want to keep attracting people to this province and to grow the economy.
They want something called safe supply. I've never heard of a safe supply of heroin or crystal meth or fentanyl. There's no such thing. And that is not the path that the United Conservatives will take. We need to help our guys go off the street and get to treatment where they can get.
Well, there you have it, folks. The event is wrapping up at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino here just outside of Calgary. A significant lineup behind me, as you can see, of people waiting to take a picture with Premier Danielle Smith, as well as behind the camera, a significant lineup of cars waiting to get out of here with this massive turnout, a strong show of support in this critical battleground. I had the opportunity to speak to a dozen or so MLAs who pitched why they believe the UCP is different and the best choice for folks heading out to the polls on May 29th. As always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos. Hey everyone, just taking this opportunity to encourage you, on election night, don't turn on your TVs and watch the mainstream media. Instead, join us at albertadecides.com. I will be broadcasting live from UCP HQ here in Calgary. You're also going to have Ezra Levant from our studio at World Headquarters in Toronto, and Sheila Gunn-Reid from her studio in Edmonton, plus a number of guests who will all be providing truly independent insight and analysis of the results as they come in. Again, the spot to find that live stream, that coverage of the election on election night, is albertadecides.com.